All right, welcome to the Gay Cruise and Travel Podcast with me, just Joey T. What's up, bitches? Wait, am I allowed to say that on a podcast? Oh, well, too late. I already said it. What's up, bitches? It's Joey. I've never done an intro like that before. I don't know what was in that coffee I drank earlier. Must not have been decaf, I suppose. Anyways, today I'm going to answer a question from one of my Patreon subscribers. And he basically asked me, how do travel agents make money? And I've actually been studying up a little bit on all things travel agents and travel agency related because I maybe in the future possibly might think about having a side hustle in that area. You know, I run this podcast. I have all the YouTube videos about gay cruises specifically. And I thought I can really leverage my experience and help, you know, a lot of you out there, you know, book your next gay cruise. But that might be for future Joey. But today, I'm going to answer this Patreon subscriber's question. So there's actually a bunch of ways for travel agents to make money. And a lot of it is not really charging the travelers, the customers, possibly you, any explicit fees. But fees are one of the options. But the main way that travel agents earn money is through commissions. So how does commission actually work? Let's say you want to book a cruise with Royal Caribbean and you have the option to book it directly with the cruise line and it's going to cost $2,000, okay? You can actually go to a travel agent as well and get that same cruise for the same $2,000. But to the travel agent, their cost to book you that cruise is maybe like $1,800. So the $200 difference is the commission, basically. So if you book through the travel agent, you still pay them $2,000, the same price as if you went to the cruise line and booked it yourself. But if you go the travel agent route, you pay them the $2,000. They pocket $200 of it because the cruise line is only charging them $1,800. I'm simplifying it for a little bit, but basically in terms of the math and the numbers, that's basically where the commission comes from. Now you're thinking, why would a cruise line charge a travel agent less, basically give them a lower price when they can just get the full $2,000 and make more money theoretically if they just sold it directly to the traveler? So it is true that if the airline, the cruise line, the hotel, whoever, if they sold it directly to the traveler, they would pocket more money from that transaction and that booking. That is true. Now, the reason that hotels and cruise lines and airlines and whatever, the reason that they work with travel agencies and they offer that kind of sort of discount and they pay a commission, basically, in a way, the travel agencies are bringing them additional business that they would either not get without them, or it would be more expensive for them to get that business. Okay, so there are a lot of travelers that will go to an airline's website and book directly with the airline for a flight. But there are a lot of business travelers, for example. Think of like a lot of the large companies, okay? They might use their size and their leverage because they may have hundreds or thousands of employees that would be traveling frequently. And they might be thinking, we're this massive company. And we have thousands of business travelers that need to travel all the time. I wonder if we can leverage that to get a lower price from some airlines for all the travel that the employees need to do. That's actually a real thing. If you've been keeping up on any sort of like aviation news, for example, American Airlines a few years ago tried to kind of sort of minimize / do away with offering sales to the travel agencies, kind of sort of because they knew that if they sold directly to the travelers, they would get more of the money. It backfired spectacularly for them. I think it cost some of their leadership, senior people to get fired. And now they're trying to like undo all that change, and it's costing them a whole bunch of money. But basically, the business traveler angle for corporate travelers with larger corporations, that's just one example of, business travelers tend to have to be bound by a company's travel policies, so on and so forth. So a lot of corporate travelers, when they're booking for business travel, they can't necessarily just book directly with an airline, even if they wanted to, maybe because they don't have a corporate credit card from the company, because the company won't give them a credit card to book anything with. Maybe they have these weird rules about expensing travel if someone chooses to put it on their own credit card. Some companies, just to make sure that all the business travel is compliant with their company policies, forces all business travel to be booked kind of internally. Like they don't allow the employees, the people traveling, to book their own flights or hotels or whatever. They have to do through like the internal system. And a lot of times these internal systems, indirectly or otherwise, are hooked up to some sort of travel agency organization. And these organizations have this leverage of, hey, we're working with hundreds of, Fortune 500 companies, or we're working with thousands of businesses who themselves have hundreds of employees that need to travel. Hey, United Airlines, Delta Airlines, American Airlines, Hilton Hotels, whoever, we've got effectively tens of thousands of people working for all these companies that will be flying and traveling and staying at hotels and whatever. We'll give you this business if you give us a commission. So that's basically one way of explaining why it makes sense for airlines, hotels, cruise lines, and so forth to kind of offer travel agencies this kind of quote unquote discounted price slash kind of letting them take a cut of the commission for a lot of the times when, that business that the travel agencies would bring to the airlines, hotels, cruise lines, and so forth, they wouldn't really be able to get that business directly anyways, or it'd be expensive for them to get that business. So that's one of the more common explanations for why this commissions structure exists. And a lot of the travel agencies, well, there are a lot of different types of travel agencies as well. So like the business corporate example, I use that business. It's a very easy one to understand. Most of you probably have a facial cleanser and moisturizer already. So I want to tell you about Shield and Slay DP, which is an anti-pollution hydration spray I formulated specifically for my skincare line, Serve Labs. This is actually a product I've been looking for years now and haven't been able to find on the market, which is something that was a hydration spray, but also has anti-pollution, antioxidant properties for your skin. Shield and Slay DP is the ultimate double protection defense for your skin, teaming up antioxidants, probiotics, along with hydrating ingredients to fend off environmental stressors and aggressors. You can use it as part of your daily skincare routine, but I've also designed it so you can use it while you're out and about, on an airplane, or whenever your skin feels dry, dull, or a bit worse for wear. All you have to do is spray it on. Check out Shield and Slay DP along with the rest of the Serve Labs skincare lineup at servelabs.co, servelabs.co, and you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at Serve Labs. So usually how it works is, if you were to book a cruise by yourself for $2,000, if you went to a travel agent, they would charge you the same $2,000. It's not always exactly how it works, but just to keep things a little bit simple for the purpose of this podcast, usually a travel agent is not going to try to charge you like a regular consumer. If you're booking with like corporate or some sort of business travel, that might be a little bit different. Keeping it on the context of like an Atlantis cruise, for example. If you go to a travel agent and you book an Atlantis cruise with them, by and large, it's not really advantageous for them to charge you more for the cruise than if you just booked it yourself. And that kind of leads me to the second way that travel agents make money, which are fees. Some travel agents don't charge you a fee. Maybe some of them might mark up the cost of the actual travel itself by like a bit, and they kind of skim a little bit off of that. It's kind of sort of like a hidden fee, if you will. So that same theoretical $2,000 cruise that you could book by yourself via the cruise line, if you went to a particular travel agent, maybe they charge you, I don't know, $2,050, where they add the $50 just kind of sort of as like a hidden fee. They jack the price a little bit to skim that little extra bit of profit off you, but then they're also still getting the $100 or $200 profit, whatever it is, from the cruise line. But travel agents can also just charge you an explicit fee just for their services. It depends on the exact model that particular travel agency runs on. But fees are not atypical. It kind of sort of depends. If a travel agency specializes in booking more complex itineraries, group travels, tours, where it's like a more all-inclusive package where it's not just like the cruise, for example. It's also the flights to get you to and from the cruise. They're also booking you hotels as well, maybe also bundling in travel insurance, excursions, things like that. That's where a travel agent can kind of justify to the traveler, hey, I'm booking this all-inclusive travel package. It's not just the cruise and it's not just a set of plane tickets. And to kind of put everything together for all the extra value and extra services I'm doing for you, I have some sort of fee that you charge. But that would be an explicit fee. That would not be something that they try to like hide. And that would be something that you, the traveler, would know about before you choose to book anything with that travel agent. So fees are pretty typical. Not every travel agent charges them. You know, if it's a travel agent that's booking you something relatively simple, like just the cruise, like nothing else, no flights, no hotels, no nothing, no excursions, no tours, no insurance or anything. They're booking you just a cruise ticket, or they're booking you flights and it's just the flight tickets. And it's something that pretty much people could probably just book by themselves. They might not want to charge much of a fee because they're not really adding that much value for you to really be charging them, for you to be giving them a lot of extra money on top of the cost of the ticket anyways. So fees, I feel like, are pretty self-explanatory. Now, I just talked about tours, excursions, and extra things like that. And that's actually another area where travel agents can make a little bit more money. So a lot of tours and excursions and things like that, you know, there's like a company or a vendor that provides them. And those vendors, just like with airlines and hotels, they can also have a commissions model where a tour operator, a tour company, can offer commissions to travel agents, and then the travel agents, whenever they sell one of the tour packages, is the same kind of commission structure and process that happens. But aside from commissions, a travel agency could offer their own tours and their own excursions. It tends to be for travel areas that are a little bit more niche, that travel agencies can do that. You know, a lot of travel agents focus on Disney-specific vacation packages. Even with like the Atlantis Gay Cruises, there are gay travel agents that, yes, they will book you a room on an Atlantis cruise, but then they also arrange for things like a pre-sale whatever thingamajig in Fort Lauderdale, and then they might organize some additional things that they organize themselves. And they're basically creating additional attractions or events or services that you can have. And because they are the ones that are creating it, they're not relying on a vendor to run that tour. They're not relying on a vendor to like host that pre-cruise dinner. They are hosting it themselves. Therefore, they charge money. And that's not a commission because they're not getting it from a vendor. So yeah, travel agencies, especially ones that focus more on some of the niche areas of travel, they do have, you know, options to kind of basically host and create their own extra charge services, and they would charge some money for that. So those are the three most typical ways most travel agents make money. You've got the commissions, you've got fees, explicit ones, and then you've got, you know, other services that travel agency chooses to offer. There are two more ways travel agents can make money, and these are not so much specific to travel agents. The first one is affiliate marketing. You might have heard this term, you know, thrown around before. If you don't know what it is, basically, it's a good example. A lot of websites will offer links that you can click on to go buy some product that they're talking about. Maybe you are reading a blog about vacuum cleaners, okay? And they talk about a few different models of vacuum cleaners on this blog post. And they have links to Amazon for each of the 3 vacuum cleaners. When you click on that Amazon link, it's not just like a regular Amazon link. It's actually a special Amazon link that identifies the blogger from whose website you got that link from. And when you do click on that link and you do buy something via that link from that blogger's website, that blogger will get a little tiny cut, very small amount of money for basically referring to Amazon your traffic, and you ended up buying that vacuum cleaner. So Amazon compensates the blogger. The blogger basically sent Amazon your dollars and your purchase, and they get a little tiny cut of it. So that's what affiliate marketing is. So yeah, you see it on a lot of blogs, even a lot of editorial or review websites on the web. Sometimes you see a little disclaimer at the top of the page that says, we might be compensated if you buy something via the links on our page, or whatever that canned message is. That's what affiliate marketing is. It's a little kind of similar to when I was explaining the commission model, because the retailer is basically compensating someone for the traffic or the sale that they are getting. So, Royal Caribbean would compensate a travel agent for selling a cruise booking to you. So it's a little similar in the sense that Amazon, with the vacuum cleaner example, Amazon is going to send the blogger like a little itsy bit of money for referring your purchase of the vacuum cleaner from Amazon. That sounds a little bit like a circular reference. I hope that made sense. Yeah, but that's what affiliate marketing is. And it's not specific to the travel agencies. I mean, affiliate marketing kind of sort of was created and took off when e-commerce first became a thing, something like, 20-ish years ago. So one of my earliest teenage obsessions was skincare. Instead of looking at toys in the kids section at the store, I was looking at moisturizers in the skincare section. As I grew up and navigated my sexuality, I saw that most of the beauty industry was aimed at feminine women, sometimes at masculine men, but everyone else was left out. It wasn't for someone like me. With Surf Labs, I wanted to create a fun skincare experience for everyone. I'm pretty sure your skin doesn't care how masc or femme you are or who you love, but I'm absolutely sure you need to take care of it. Check us out at surflabs.co, SERVELABS.co, and you can also find us on Instagram and Twitter at surflabs. The last way that travel agents can make money is also not travel agency specific at all. And it's just social media monetization. Okay, a lot of people are trying to monetize their social media in some way, shape, or form. For example, whenever you watch a YouTube video and an ad pops up on YouTube, okay, that ad, YouTube compensates the creator of that video a little bit of money every time YouTube shows an ad on their video. And it's the same as with my YouTube channel, okay? If you go to my YouTube channel, just Joe AT, you click on one of my videos, if you see an ad that runs before, during, or after that video, it's because I've allowed YouTube to run ads on the videos on my channel, and they will send me like 1,000th of a cent or something for like each one little ad that they run. It's not a ton of money, but that's kind of sort of how ads work on a lot of social media platforms and also on a lot of websites as well. You run a blog, you have a website. If you put ads on it, Google or Facebook or whoever is the ad provider, depending on how many people see the ads, depending on how much traffic your website gets, they will pay you a little bit of money for letting them show ads on your website. Same with YouTube, same with Facebook, same with Instagram, same with TikTok, all those different types of things, okay? So this, I kind of call it very generally part of what I call social media monetization. And there are other ways to monetize off of social media as well, less direct ways. we hear about influencers all the time. Influencers, if they have enough of like a following on social media, they can get brand deals with like any company, and then they can start maybe getting some free stuff from that company. That's kind of sort of for smaller influencers. A company might go to an influencer that might have a little bit of a following and say, hey, we'll give you a free product or service if you do like a post or a video or whatever about it. So in the travel world, travel bloggers, for example, will try to take advantage of this. And there's some travel agents that kind of cross the line and try to also be influencers and also try to get on the game that way. They might, if they build up a little bit of a following on their social media, then maybe they can go to a hotel or a resort and say, hey, I have like 50,000 followers on my Instagram. I do travel vlogs on my Instagram, but I'm also a travel agent. Give me a couple of free nights at your resort or at your hotel, and then I will make some posts or some TikTok videos or reels or whatever of your property, and I'll post it. So a lot of influencers, what the joke is, influencers try to do that to get like free shit. But there's like a little bit of like a marketing value for the hotel or whoever the resort, whoever the company is that's willing to give them influencers some free stuff. Obviously, everybody thinks they're an influencer now, and everybody thinks they can just ask for free shit. And for companies, it's probably like a little bit of annoying. But for travel agents that can also build up their social media, if they have enough influence. Okay, that's where the word comes from. In their social media, it can really complement the revenue stream in terms of they have all the traditional travel agent income sources like commissions, fees, maybe additional services that they sell. But if they can also do affiliate marketing, which is honestly not that hard, and if they also want to play up the influencer angle, and then they can, get some free rooms, or if they get popular enough, have enough followers, companies will actually pay more popular, bigger influencers money. So instead of just saying, oh, we're going to send you a product for free if you just highlight it in a TikTok video. If you are a bigger influencer with more followers and more influence, you can demand money. You can be like, it's not enough just to send them something for free. It's like you only need to pay them like $100, $200, $500, $1,000. The more popular, the more influence you have on social media, the more income you can generate. So if you can imagine either a travel influencer that is also a travel agent or vice versa, someone who's both basically, if they have enough influence, that could be, kind of sort of like a side hustle in a kind of sort of way that's very related to their main business. And if you have enough followers, that could be decently lucrative. But, the barriers to, just posting stuff on social media is so low. Everybody is trying to be an influencer, at least here in Los Angeles anyways, that, to have enough influence to actually make some amount of money or to regularly get free stuff, it's actually maybe more difficult than some people might appreciate. But yeah, those are all the ways that travel agents can make money. I actually really like that question because I didn't research that just to do this podcast or just for that question, but I was looking into like, oh, maybe I could do a travel agent thing as like a side hustle because I enjoy like travel and cruises and stuff so much. So I kind of sort of already was looking into like, would this be a lucrative side hustle? How much time would it take? What are all like the requirements to be one? Do I need to take some courses? Do I need to get licensed? All that kind of stuff. So I was already looking into like, what kind of money can a travel agent make? So I was kind of sort of already knew this. So it was kind of serendipitous that one of my Patreon subscribers just asked me this question. Oh, how do travel agents actually make their money? And I was just more than happy to answer the question for that subscriber on this week's episode of the Gay Cruise and Travel Podcast. All right. Please subscribe and like and stay tuned when I have another great episode for you next week. Until next time. Bye, y'all.